Good morning, children. So today we'll just discuss a new topic from the Napoleon chapter, and the name of the topic is Conflict of the Napoleonic Empire with the Ideals of the French Revolution. Conflict of Napoleonic Empire with the Ideals of the French Revolution. To just know this fact, before starting the discussion on this topic, we have to just know that Napoleon, with his charismatic nature and the personality, he became very famous all over his country. You all know, children, that when he just came back to his own country, everyone just welcomed Napoleon as their real hero. But within a very short span of time, within a very few days, the real motive of Napoleon Bonaparte became quite absolutely transparent to everyone, and they came to know that why did Napoleon Bonaparte become so much enthusiastic to just spread out his power, his autonomous power, most importantly, all over the country. So first of all the peoples of the common citizens of France, they sought to think that Napoleon will just work on behalf of all the common peoples of the third estate, but later on they were proved wrong. What has happened when Napoleon Bonaparte became the Emperor of France? You know that Napoleon seized or confiscated the power by a military coup in France in the year of 1799. And just after 5 years later, it was in the year of 1804 when Napoleon Bonaparte became the Emperor of France. He had just taken the title that he will be called the Emperor of France right now. What has happened? Let's read. Between 1799 and 1804, Napoleon successfully fought against many European powers as a soldier of French Revolution, as because he was the commander general. He was the military general. So that's why this was his responsibility to just defeat with all the first European coalition, even all those countries, those who went against France as well as the French Revolution. So Napoleon did it so well. This is to say, he fought for the spread of the ideas born of the French Revolution to the European countries where absolute monarchy was deeply entrenched. Even the soft targets at the time, it was where Napoleon Bonaparte sought to think that these countries are the main backbone of the monarchical government or the monarchical autocracy. Those countries were just chosen by Napoleon Bonaparte, and Napoleon Bonaparte successfully just fought against all those countries to just remove the monarchical government, to just remove the monarchical regime from there. And it became quite successful, as because the support was there. Means whenever and wherever Napoleon Bonaparte went to just uproot the monarchical government from a particular country, the common peoples of that particular countries, they had helped Napoleon Bonaparte in different ways, and that became a much more important thing for Napoleon Bonaparte to just uproot or to just overthrow the existing monarchical government from there. Okay. So revolution to the European countries where absolute monarchy was deeply entrenched. But after 1904, children, this is wrong inside your book. It's written, I'm just mentioning the page number also. This is from page number 41. This will be 1804. This will not be 1904. So this will be 1804 when Napoleon declared himself the Emperor of France. From here a short question may come that when did Napoleon Bonaparte declare himself as a emperor of France? The answer will be 1804 AD. But the real motive behind his military conquest showed up. Means the common peoples now they came to know that what was the real motive of Napoleon Bonaparte before conquering all the countries, even to defeat all the countries. For the first time, at a glance, they sought to think that Napoleon will be very much careful. Napoleon will be very much flexible with all the idealism or the ideologies of the French Revolution, and that too equality, liberty and fraternity. But finally, when the fact was revealed that Napoleon was not trying to just to just reinstall all these ideologies in France, instead he also wanted to just recreate his own regime over France. And at the time, the common peoples of the France, they were proved absolutely wrong. Now move forward to the next point, that is Napoleon becomes the Emperor of the French. Here you will just come to know from this passage that how did Napoleon become the Emperor of France. Children, don't just get confused, as because earlier I have told that in the year of 1799 Napoleon Bonaparte had seized the power. He had just confiscated the administrative power from the hands of the means consulate, I'm sorry, means the directory government, and he became the actual means emperor. But during that time he was not called the Emperor of France. Emperor, what does it mean? The a person who is having his great autonomous power over the entire region or the entire subcontinent. He is called an emperor. So just like that, when by a military coup in the year of 1799, when Napoleon had just besieged or confiscated the power of the France, at the time he was merely a commander general only, nothing else. But in the year of 1804 he became the Emperor of France. As because to become to become an emperor of a country, a few terms and conditions are there, a few legitimacies are there, so that should be followed. And finally it was also followed by Napoleon Bonaparte also. And how did he become the Emperor of the France? Let's have a look. The inordinate ambition of Napoleon did not come to an end with the attainment of the post of the first consul. We know that the consulate system was started by Napoleon Bonaparte, where the 3 different consuls were there, and most importantly Napoleon, amongst all the consuls, Napoleon was the first consul, and that's why the responsibility was given to him. He could just take all the decisions. Actually, literally he wanted to show all the common peoples of France or the third estate that he was not only the center of all administrative power. The power has been just segregated. It has been just given 3 different consuls, but we know that actually the rest 2 consuls were only the torch bearers of Napoleon Bonaparte. So that's why the actual power, actual administrative power, it was just upheld by Napoleon Bonaparte himself. So he was not very happy with when he just got the administrative power, when he became the first consul of Europe, France. He wanted to show his skill more and more. So that's why he wanted to just put the crown on his head to show all the world, all the countries in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, in all the throughout the whole world, that he deserves the post. He wanted to just become the Emperor of France, and finally he did so. How did it become possible? Let's see. The French people heaved a sigh of relief when disciplined soldier like Napoleon was entrusted with the administration of France. Yes, actually this was happened. Actually, when Napoleon Bonaparte, he had just controlled all the administrative structures, administrative works. They had just did like after a revolution, they sought to think that now the revolution will be successful. The process has been just started, but finally, literally, this was not that type of thing they had just dreamt for. 2 years later, another plebiscite made it his office hereditary. What is the meaning of plebiscite? You can see that I'm just pronouncing the spelling of plebiscite. It's Plebiscite. It's actually it means a kind of a voting system. Suppose whenever the peoples, they are thinking that they will choose their own leader to just govern, to just administer their own country, the voting procedure is there now. Just like that, a plebiscite was also there. He wanted to see that how many peoples they are on for of Napoleon and who are against of Napoleon. Whenever he saw he had just he was entrusted by all the common peoples of France, he sought to think that now the time has come, the time has been just appeared, I can be the Emperor of France. So that's why he did so. Okay, so on 2nd of December 1804, this date as well as the year is very important. You may just underline this sentence. On 2nd of December 1804, amid imposing ceremonies at the Cathedral of Notre Dame, the entire sentence should be underlined. This is very important for you, as because there is a big probability for the short question, for making the short question from here. I just repeat, on 2nd December 1804, amid imposing ceremonies at the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris, Napoleon placed a crown upon his head and assumed the title of Napoleon I. So on 2nd of December 1804, Napoleon became the actual Emperor of France, and a crown was just put forward on his head. And since that time, Napoleon was called not only the Napoleon Bonaparte, as well as he was also called the first Napoleon Bonaparte I. It means Napoleon I, Emperor of the French. The event was graced by a presence of Pope Pius VII, who had come from Rome, as because affiliation or the recognition was very important from the Pope and his administration and his institution. So that's why Pope, he had just belonged from Italy. The capital of Italy was Rome, so he had just come from there, and he he had just given his blessings and all these things to Napoleon Bonaparte. In this way, Napoleon, he became the Emperor of France in the year of 1804 on 2nd of December. And this incident, this factor played a vital role in later on also. This event and since that time, Napoleon once said that I am the revolution. Napoleon once he said that I am the revolution, I am the son of revolution, and later on he will tell that revolution is terminated. So yes, we know that Napoleon, beside and behind his success, behind Napoleon Bonaparte's success, the French Revolution was very important, very authentic. But when Napoleon Bonaparte he just got the power, he told that revolution is terminated, means he has just finished all the revolutionary activities in France. But the common people, they were continuously just revolting to just get their three basic things, the three basic constitutional rights, and that too, yes, equality, liberty, and fraternity. They were just going continuously means to get it for. But finally it was not achieved, as because when Napoleon Bonaparte also came to the power, he also showed his own without just when he just removed his mask on his face, the common people also came to know that no, he cannot be the perfect person for us, as because he has not just provided all the opportunities or the privileges what we want. So Napoleon once said that I am the revolution, Ami Biplab. In Bengali this is termed as Ami Biplab. Once he said that I am the son of revolution, আমি বিপ্লবের সন্তান, বিপ্লব থেকেই আমার জন্ম হয়েছে, means revolution থেকেই আমার জন্ম হয়েছে. But some other time he ambiguously said the revolution is terminated. So when he became the Emperor of France, at the time he just changed his view, his political view, his political activity. Instead he said that I have changed, revolution is terminated. Why so? You have not just provided all the constitutional rights to your countrymen, to your citizens. So why are you saying so? As because you are biased with the common peoples to just give them away all constitutional rights in their own hands. Despite ambiguity in the saying of Napoleon, there was denying the fact that he in some way was the higher of the French Revolution. Yes, this is very true, as because he was a higher. সে ছিল রেভলিউশনের উত্তরাধিকারী। আমি বলেছিলাম কিছুক্ষণ আগে, আমি বললাম যে ফ্রম রেভলিউশন নেপোলিয়ন বোনাপার্ট ওয়াজ বর্ন, রেভলিউশন থেকেই তার জন্ম। অ্যান্ড বাট অ্যাট দ্য সেম টাইম ইন আদার রেসপেক্ট হিজ অ্যাকশনস অ্যান্ড মুভস ওয়ার মোর reminiscent and of the actions or the ancient regime. These may be illustrated by such an example. So it means we have just come to know that when he just came to power as a general, as a military commander, at the time his activities were absolutely different. The common peoples, they sought to think that Napoleon will be their torch bearer, he will just do everything what the common peoples they just dream for. But finally when he just became the emperor, at the time the real motive, it was absolutely revealed to everyone that Napoleon was not working for all the common peoples. Instead he wanted to just show off his power in the everywhere, means throughout the world, and that was the real thing. Children, in page number 42, what was the illustrated facts that have been just given over here by giving the number 1, 2. You don't need to just read that, as because this is not too much important for you. So by next class we will just read about conflict between the imperial ideology and the ideals of liberty, equality and fraternity. And by next video we'll just learn that how did Napoleon differ from the said three basic political or the constitutional ideals, that to equality, liberty and fraternity. We'll just come to know from there that why did Napoleon Bonaparte become reluctant to just give away all the constitutional rights to the common people. Thank you. Stay safe, stay home.